Hello, my name is Ronan O'Neill, and welcome to the Zurich offices in Blackrock, County Dublin, where today we're going to be talking about auto-enrolment. The government has just confirmed that the launch date of auto-enrolment will be the 1st of January 2026, which is a little over 6 months away. So the countdown clock is very much ticking, and now is the time that you should be preparing yourself, your business, and importantly your employees for the introduction of auto-enrolment. Employee benefits. Pensions are seen as a really key employee benefit, particularly if you're going for a new job and you see that there's pensions. Looking at employers who are serious about employing good quality staff, Maura, do you think that offering a pension scheme that's AE or offering an occupational pension scheme is better? What do you think is the most attractive for encouraging people to join a company?
I think it'll probably depend on the type of employee that you're employing. And I think that's probably key to it. I think probably lower paid industries, they may have not as much awareness of pension, the importance of it, etc. I think if we all look back when we were in our early 20s, pension was probably at the last thing on our mind. What you will see, and I touched on earlier on, is that those higher kind of management, senior management up, that is definitely a key driver in relation to when they're looking to move employers and looking at the benefit schemes in relation to it. So I think it really depends on the type of employees that you're actually employing and what that looks like. So it will vary from employer to employer, but it's definitely one of the areas that, people look at when they're looking at the overall benefit package within an employment place.
I think I'd second that completely. And I think if employers are looking at, particularly go back to our earlier point, higher rate taxpayers, I think they need to keep AE off the table because, AE will now actually become the lowest common denominator. It'll be like not having a pension scheme in place at this moment in time. So I think employers are going to have to up the game a little bit, depending, again, on their sector and on the type of employee they're trying to recruit. I totally agree with more, lower paid transient, it's probably just AE is going to replace not having anything in place at all. But those employers, I go back to this point again and again, they're serious about employee benefits and providing them, they're going to have to look outside of AE.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think you mentioned this. Auto-enrolment is a safety net, and that's what we've got. The safe pension, you'll have an AE layer above it, and that's the safety net for those 800,000 people who haven't joined their pension scheme. But the more we can encourage people to start looking at pensions and thinking about the retirement, and you're right, Maura, when you're in your 20s, retirement is a long way away, but you rapidly move to your 30s and 40s, and that's when it becomes really important. Okay, look, we're coming to the end of the conversation. Maura, just final points. You've opportunity now. You're speaking to lots of employers. They're 6-7 months away from the introduction of AE. What is your sort of 3-point plan that employers should be considering?
Demographic. What's your employee workforce look like? What direction are you going to go? So are you looking at the AE? Are you looking at a scheme that you have already in place? You really need to start making those decisions now. Look at your documentation. So what have you got in place? What you need to put in place? Reach out to ourselves. We're more than happy to help. What type of documentation, your contracts, your handbooks, your policies, all of those things are going to be key. And the communication and education piece is really key. It's much easier to implement any sort of change when you've got your employees on board with you and you're all on the same journey together. We talk about education of the employees, but the employer needs to be educated as well. It's something completely new to them, particularly for ones that haven't got kind of any scheme in place at all. So I think the key things are education, communication, documentation, policies, and basically looking at your workforce and what you need to do.
Brilliant. And Niall, yourself from the pension side?
Similar to examining the demographic of the workforce, I think that's really, really important. If there are any higher rate taxpayers that are going to drift into auto-enrolment, I think it's important that the conversation is had. I definitely bring in financial advice from an employer's perspective, without a shadow of a doubt. I think this is the one thing I've learned over the last while looking at auto-enrolment and talking to employers. There's not a one-size-fits-all here approach. Every different employer will have different requirements in relation to making any adjustments to their existing retirement benefits for their employees. So seek financial advice. Have a breakdown demographic to see of the employee demographic to see what is the best solution for their particular circumstances. and then put in some of the preparations that Maura alluded to there, particularly regarding contracts for future employees, if they so wish to do so.
Yeah. I think the financial advice piece, I think you're really right in saying that you don't have to do this alone. There are experts out there who can help and guide you as an employer, but also your employees. You know, your employees are the ones that they may not listen to the employer, but they might listen to a financial advisor or your employee benefit consultant. If you've got a pension scheme with Zurich, make sure you're using our DC portal, because that will give you the demographic information as to who is a member of the pension scheme already. But look, Moira, thanks very much. Niall, thank you very much. Hope you found this session useful. We will be looking to do more as we come closer to auto enrolment. As I say, it's only 7 or 8 months away. But thank you very much for joining us, and we hope you found this useful. Thank you.